Now on Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. A state agency continues to clean up a hazardous spill in a nearby county. Construction of a new school continues with crews making big progress. Plus, a tractor was stolen from a construction site. Find out where police found it.
And we got lots more warm weather coming away this weekend and real warm weather, I might say hot, coming away next week. Some in the hundreds. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
Day 1 of the state UIL meet was a success. Day 2, just hours away. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 3rd day of May 2024. The time is now, 6:31 on our Friday morning, and it's Wild Koala Day.
Koala Day, Wild Koala Day. What? Interesting. Do you like koalas? Koalas are such interesting, cute little animals.
Yeah, I love koalas.
Are they also kind of slow? Kind of like sloths almost? Am I crazy?
I think sloths are slower probably.
Yeah, oh yeah, sloths
like in
definitely
movement,
slower.
not mentally.
But I feel like koalas are kind of slow when they climb trees.
I don't know. I'll have to look up some footage.
Yeah. We're going crazy.
All right, Parker. Well, how's the forecast looking? Is it a slow climb in temperatures?
Oh, yes. Actually, you're very right on, Carolina. In fact, the koalas, they might be loving this weather because I think they're tropical animals and they love the humidity. Well, we have got plenty of that right now. In fact, if you're tuning in with us this morning, you're looking live here in Eastern Victoria. We've got another warm and humid morning, like we were just saying, just like the last few, I'd say it's like 3, 4, 5 days or so. But like I said, very nice and warm out there right now, 75 degrees this morning, and also plenty humid with, like I said, their dew point right now, 73 degrees. That is a very, very, very wet dew point right now. But all of us out there this morning are experiencing the lovely warm mid-70s. Some of us along the immediate coast are in the upper 70s because you're right next to that nice warm, I think it's like 78-degree waters out there this morning. But right now the humidity is plenty high this morning. All of us in the mid-90s for your humidity percentages. So some of us could see maybe a very thin layer of fog this morning. So if you do see that fog, please be careful out on the roads this morning. But looking at your radar, you can see whatever showers that were out there just about half an hour ago, you can see they've completely dissipated. And we are left with a nice and clean radar scope this morning. But coming our way this afternoon and also maybe in the late morning, we could maybe see an uptick in that shower development as we go into the late morning and around noon and also into the afternoon. I'm thinking the mostly cloudy skies that are out there, cloudy skies I might add, are going to continue into the afternoon. Maybe a couple of peaks of sunshine in the afternoon, maybe partly cloudy skies for just a couple moments. And that's going to get us to another warm day. I'm thinking about 86 for today, but plenty of real warm weather getting to the hundreds possibly next week. And I'll take a look at all that more though in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. President Biden announced he addressed the protests at college campuses nationwide Thursday, breaking days of silence on the issue since the arrest of students and other protesters at universities and campuses across the nation. Biden emphasized that, quote, peaceful protest is the best tradition of how Americans respond to consequential issues, but added that the U.S. isn't a lawless country. Biden says he supports freedom of speech, but not the right to cause chaos. The president also condemned any acts of anti-Semitism, saying there is no place in the U.S. for hate speech or any other form of discrimination. We'll go to Washington for more later. A 5th victim's body is recovered at the site of the Baltimore Key Bridge collapse. Authorities say the body located inside of a red truck is that of 49-year-old Miguel Angel Luna Gonzalez. The vehicle is one of the construction trucks that had been missing since the bridge collapsed in March. 8 construction workers were working on the bridge when it collapsed early in the morning on March 26. 4 of the 6 bodies were previously recovered, while 2 other workers were able to escape alive. Emergency crews were out performing high water rescues after heavy rains led to flooding in the Houston area. Crews were helping stranded drivers on flooded roads as well as one family from their home. Some parts of the Houston area saw close to a foot of rainfall overnight, with storms expected to continue into the weekend. The month of April brought multiple destructive tornado outbreaks across large swaths of the country. Whilst the spring months are when most tornadoes typically occur in the U.S., could climate change be impacting these severe weather events?
Spring is typical tornado season, and April is the third busiest month for tornadoes across the U.S. But this April, we had multiple tornado outbreaks, more than 280 tornadoes. That's the second most since records began in 1950. There are more cameras capturing more tornadoes, but does climate change really have anything to do with this? When it comes to tornadoes, the answer is not simple.
At every location, tornadoes are rare events. And we tend to want to find patterns as human beings, because that's a good thing. But we also can find patterns when there really isn't anything there.
But climate science is beginning to identify potential trends, including shifts in the number of days with tornadoes and where they're happening.
We have fewer days now which a tornado occurs in the United States, but more days when there are a lot of tornadoes.
An analysis from Climate Central shows that since 1979, the number of days that are favorable for tornadoes has gone up in states like Tennessee and Mississippi, and it's gone down for much of Oklahoma and Texas. These seemingly small shifts can have a big influence on impacts.
One of the big differences between the Mid-South and the Plains is rural population density. A lot more people live in rural areas in, say, Mississippi and Alabama than live in western Kansas and western Oklahoma.
While there is still a lot to learn about how our changing climate could be impacting tornadoes, we know that being prepared and heeding warnings is what saves lives. With this Climate Minute, I'm Ginger Zee.
The Texas Department of Emergency Management continues to clean up a hazardous spill in Goliad County. A tanker truck carrying about 5,700 gallons of gas flipped over on U.S. Highway 183. The right-of-way and private property felt the impacts of the spill. The Goliad County Groundwater Conservation District explains the gasoline went into the ground rather than pooling on the surface. The gas seeped into the ground, making the fix more complicated and tougher to fix. We reached out to the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality, or TCEQ, about the situation. They said on April 22nd, 2024, TCEQ responded on site to provide oversight and technical assistance, and they'll continue oversight of the remedial efforts. The TCEQ also contacted a representative of the company responsible for the truck as they continue to investigate the situation. The Corpus Christi Police Department announced plans for Officer Kyle Hicks' celebration of life service. It'll be Tuesday from 1 to 3 at the First Baptist Church in Corpus Christi. Officer Hicks was shot while responding to a domestic disturbance call on April 20th and died last Wednesday. He served as a Corpus Christi police officer for the past 2 years. Hicks leaves behind a wife and 4 children. Construction at the new Mission Valley Elementary School continues, with construction crews making big progress. In 2021, voters approved a bond proposition allowing for a new elementary school building. The construction of the new building is located on the same grounds as the previous school building. Crews broke ground in September of last year. Just after 10 a.m. Thursday morning, police responded to a burglary at McHyack Ford in the 4500 block of North Novato. They reported a small tractor being stolen from a construction area overnight. Police found the stolen tractor a short time later and returned it to the owner. Authorities located the tractor in a parking lot of an apartment complex off Navarro. So far, there are no suspects or arrests made in the case. Port Lavaca police arrested a 34-year-old suspect Tuesday. William Harris is charged with continuous sex of a child under the age of 14. He's in the Calhoun County Jail in lieu of a $150,000 bond. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:40 on our Friday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up. Crossroads residents gathered to observe the National Day of Prayer.
I'm ABC's Perry Russom in Washington. More than 2,100 people have now been arrested at college protests coast to coast. That story coming up.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your school bus forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at that real warm weather that is coming our way next week. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you're all tuning in with us this morning and looking live in Cuero, pretty cloudy out there, warm, and another humid morning, just like we've had the last 3, 4, 5 mornings. And right now, 74 degrees, like I said, just like it was. 73-degree dew point, though, very humid out there, bringing you a 99% humidity. In fact, if I step out of the way here, you could actually see a very thin layer of fog out there in Cuero, just like what I was expecting this morning. Not a thick layer, but a thin layer. So if you do see any of the, maybe the lower elevations might see some thicker fog. So please be careful out there on the roads this morning. But if you're sending your kiddos out the door, it's going to be just like it is right now, 74 degrees. And I removed the rain symbol because it looks like the showers are on the decrease. We're going to look at that radar right after this. And in the afternoon, as we're heading back home right around 3 or 4 p.m., I'm thinking high of about 86 today. Mostly cloudy skies continuing to decrease a tad bit, and also a little bit breezy. Today's gusts right around 25 to 30 miles an hour. But looking at the radar, like I said, we're starting to clear up out there this morning, but we could see some more showers going into the later afternoon. And we're going to take a look at all that more, though, in just a few more moments. And that's it for weather. Now let's look at sports with Zach Brown.
To begin the morning, we had 2 pole vaulters from Industrial. Now, while they did not place, it's always great to see 2 local stars be able to shine on a big stage. And while those pole vaulters were going at it, we had 2 Crossroads stars over on the long jump, that being Yoakum's Gianna Phillips and Tidehaven's Mary Johnson. Now, for Gianna Phillips, this is her first year ever doing the long jump, and she was able to walk away with bronze, which is a testament to her athleticism. She would actually later on get gold in the triple jump. Caden Reagan of Goliad took home gold in the discus, defending his state title. Now, later on in the evening when the track meets began, the Goliad girls shine as they always do. Kyla Hill made some history, setting the record time in the 300-meter hurdles with 41.44 seconds. We also had El Campo star Madison Holmes, who won the 100-meter dash. The unofficial time actually showed them as tied with second place. Now, as for how close these races were, Yoakum and Hallettsville both finished with 36 total points. They finished tied for first place. That trophy staying in the Crossroads, and it belongs to 2 Crossroads teams. Congrats to Hallettsville and Yoakum. With your 25 sports now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Over 2,100 protesters have been arrested on college campuses nationwide in just 2 weeks.
At Portland State University in Oregon, students charging at officers using cut-up trash cans as shields. These are some of the latest arrests on college campuses across the country.
Free, free, free Palestine!
Tension between protesters and police has been building in recent days, as more than 2,100 people have now been arrested on campuses coast to coast. Yesterday at UCLA, an encampment dismantled after a violent night between pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli protesters. SWAT called in to clear the crowd. Yesterday, President Biden addressing the demonstrations for the first time.
There's the right to protest, but not the right to cause chaos. It's forcing the cancellation of classes and graduations. None of this is a peaceful protest.
Biden says the protests have not forced him to reconsider any of his policies in the Middle East. Former President Trump is calling on college presidents to remove the encampments.
Vanquish the radicals and take back our campuses for all of the normal students who want a safe place from which to learn.
Palestine will be free!
The demonstrations are now being replicated on college campuses overseas, including here in Sydney, Australia.
I wish solidarity to all of the fellow student activists who've been involved in this fight world over.
Back here at home, police in New York say nearly 300 people were arrested at Columbia and City College. Half of them were not affiliated with the schools. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
Crossroads residents gathered at De Leon Plaza Thursday to observe the National Day of Prayer. Pastor Larry Green, who works for Hospice of South Texas, has been organizing the event since 2010. He says this year he's stepping down to spend more time with family. Green says the Day of Prayer ceremony was dedicated to Dwayne Wise, who used to sing the national anthem at the event each year. Wise passed away recently. The pastor says he looks forward to the gathering every year.
There are still people who are willing to say, I'm not afraid to be talked about, to be whatever, because we live in a world, again, that where Christianity is being pushed to the side. And it's good to see that there are people in the community that's willing to stand for their faith and their belief.
The ceremony began with the Pledge of Allegiance, the national anthem, and it was followed by Amazing Grace and other songs of faith. The time is now 6:47 on our Friday morning. Still to come, the demand for WNBA tickets this season is up. Find out by how much. To celebrate those birthdays, happy first birthday to Cameron. Happy birthday, Cameron, from your grandparents and family. We love you so much.
Oh, look at that sweet picture. Happy birthday, Cameron. And our very special guest, Jacob Sauceda. He's the director. He's turning 30 years old today. He's the BTG family. His BTG family loves him so very much and wishes him the happiest of birthdays as he directs the morning news today. Happy birthday, buddy.
And happy 34th birthday to Meg. Happy birthday to the best wife and mom. Love Bill, Chopper, and Gabriel.
Happy birthday, Meg. And happy birthday to Dorothy. We want to wish our sissy and sister-in-law a blessed happy birthday and many more. May God bless you with many, many, many more. Love her well, Lola, Avia, and Jeremy.
And recent Hunger Games prequel star Rachel Zegler with a birthday today. She's 23.
Happy birthday, Rachel. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More and under Home, you'll see KVU to submit your birthday.
Okay, the time is now 6:49 on our Friday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today or this weekend.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. We got another warm day today and a really warm week coming our way next week. Yesterday it got up to 86 degrees, and I'm thinking we're going to have another day just like that, getting up to 86. But looking at our record temperature, 101. And I want you to take a close eye at that because we could see that temperature right there possibly next week. We'll look at those temperatures here in a second because, like I said, for today, I'm thinking about the same thing as we had yesterday, getting up to about 86 this afternoon. But the further out west, closer to Mexico, right along the border, right near Del Rio and Laredo, they are in the mid-90s for today. But watch their temperatures as we go into next week, and also watch ours as well because we're going to be getting pretty warm as well. Looking at Laredo, they're going to be 99 on Monday, starting off the week next week. Here in Victoria, probably going to be in the upper 80s. I'm thinking 89, near 90. But going into Tuesday, another warm one, getting up to 104 Laredo, 90 officially, and the Crossroads on Tuesday, and then Wednesday even warmer, getting to the mid-90s possibly, 109 Laredo, and the next day even warmer. We could officially be in the hundreds with another real hot day as well. We're going to take a look at all that more though in just a few more moments. Back to you, Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. The demand for WNBA tickets this season is up 93% compared to this time last year. Our preview report says the dramatic increase is largely thanks to college basketball star Caitlin Clark and her new team, the Indiana Fever. So far, the Fever ticket sales have increased more than 13 times compared to last year, according to the report. As of this week, 9 of the 10 best-selling games this upcoming season are away games for the Fever. Meanwhile, sales for the defending champions, the Las Vegas Aces, have increased about 190%. The Chicago Sky has also seen its ticket sales triple compared to last year, after selecting LSU's Angel Reese and South Carolina's Camila Cardoso. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. Today we want to know, are you more likely to watch a WNBA game following Caitlin Clark's league debut? Okay, let's take a look. 21% of you say yes, and 79% of you say no. Thank you for taking part in our viewer poll. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A federal judge sentenced the former captain of a dive boat that caught on fire. A federal judge in California sentenced the former captain of the dive boat that caught on fire near California's Santa Cruz Island in 2019 to 4 years in prison. The fire left 34 people dead. A jury found Jerry Boylan guilty last year on one federal felony count of misconduct or neglect of a ship officer. The 70-year-old was one of 5 crew members to make it off the Conception when the fire erupted on the morning of Labor Day. Family members of some of the victims spoke during the sentencing hearing, but Boylan never looked at them. In a statement read by his attorney, Boylan said, quote, "It was my goal to bring everyone home safely, and I failed." The governor of Hawaii signed legislation Thursday allocating $362 million in emergency appropriations to assist with the impact of the Lahaina fire in Maui. Governor Josh Green says the funding package will help in several ways. It will compensate victims of the fire, temporarily lift some restrictions on the use of funds, and it will give power to shut down illegal short-term rentals. The Lahaina fire last August killed 101 people and caused over $6 billion in damages. A proposed change in how the federal government classifies marijuana won't change state laws. Here's what Texans need to know about state pot regulations. Read this story by the Texas Tribune on our website, crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a last look at our forecast with Parker. Is it another overcast sunrise for us today, Parker?
Yes, Carolyn, it's another cloudy and humid sunrise. In fact, yes, Carolyn is over there saying, wow, it is very cloudy. Yeah, look how cloudy it is and looks quite humid out there as well. Your eyes do not deceive you. It's because it is quite humid out there this morning. 77 degrees down there in Port Lavaca. Another lovely warm morning, but in the background, what's uncomfortable is that very wet 75-degree dew point, bringing you a 93% humidity. So some of us in the Crossroads could see some very thin fog out there this morning. I'm not expecting any thick fog, but if you do see any of that fog, please be careful out on the roads. This morning, that fog will clear by 9 a.m. But we do have another warm day today, getting up to about 86, I think, this afternoon. And we did have some showers out there earlier this morning, but it looks like most of that has cleared up. Maybe a chance for some showers out there in the afternoon. But we have plenty more warm weather to come this week and next week. And we got hot weather next week, some of us getting into the 100s.
Oh my goodness, Parker, it's going to be breezy and warm this Cinco de Mayo weekend.
Oh yes, very warm Cinco de Mayo weekend.
I'm excited. All right, Parker. Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us. Have a great start to your weekend, and see you on Monday.